Story about the previous Lubavitcher Rebbe. When the previous Lubavitcher Rebbe was just a young boy, I don't know if this is before his bar mitzvah or after his bar mitzvah, but I think it was before. So he was a strong child, of course, a religious Jew. Religious Jews don't practice, MMA or fighting or things like that. But nevertheless, he was strong. So he was walking down the street. Okay, he went into the marketplace. There was one Jew in the marketplace that everybody liked, a very simple Jew, religious guy. Everyone liked him. He was a nice person, and he always had a smile on his face, to the degree that they called him Bala Shinayim. They called him the Tooth Man, right? Because he always said, hello, hello, how are you? Made everybody feel good. One day he was walking carrying a calf on he was a strong guy, carrying a calf on his shoulders that he had just bought. And now he was going to go and sell it. So the previous Rebbe, his name was Yosef Yitzchak, and he saw this fellow, and the previous Rebbe, he would receive an allowance from his father, and he would take this money and he would loan it out without any interest to people who needed it, especially Jews. He would loan it out to Jews that they needed it to. So somebody needed money to buy something, he would loan him money and say, buy twice as much and sell it and pay me back whenever you can. And that's what he would do. Anyway, he was walking through the street, and he sees this fellow, this Mr. Teeth, whatever, going. He says, how are you doing? He said, oh, thank God I have this. I'm going to sell this calf. All of a sudden, from nowhere, runs a policeman, a big policeman, up to this guy, this tooth man, and he says, you're a thief, and he punches him in the face. And he knocks him down, and his face is bleeding, his nose is bleeding, and his friend comes along and he picks him up, and he's going to hit him again. You thief, you stole this calf. So the previous Rebbe sees this happening, and he runs and he knocks the policeman down. Knocks him down. It was didn't expect it. Who would do a thing like this? I can't believe it. And also the Jews were like second-class citizens over there. The Jews, you didn't do a thing like that. But still, they were people and they were respected. They were respected. So the policeman, he had his helper with him to start beating up a little kid in the street. It didn't look nice. So he said, take him and throw him into prison. Throw him into jail. So they took this guy, the Bala Shinayim, and they threw him into jail. And the Rebbe, they threw into another room. And the jailer, who was the head of the jail, and when the boy came in, as he slapped him in the face, slapped the Rebbe, the previous Rebbe, was just a boy, slapped him in the face, and he threw him into the... So the Rebbe was sitting there in prison, and he was afraid. He was afraid, didn't know what was going to... It was a jail. He was all alone. It was dark. It was totally dark in the room. There wasn't even a window in the room. The window opened up to like the hall, and the hall was darkened, or maybe there was even a latch over the window. Anyway, it was totally dark. And he was a little boy, and after all, and he was afraid. He's afraid. He didn't know what was going to be, what was going to happen, what they were going to do to him. He was sitting there, and suddenly he heard in the corner someone groaning. So then he really got scared. Then he thought, whoa, what's going to... So he thought to himself, 1 second. The reason that I'm sitting here in prison is because I helped another Jew. I helped another Jew, and I stopped an injustice, and I should be happy. That's a good thing. That's what Abraham did, and Yitzchak, they were willing to defy the whole world in order to do what's right, and I did what's right in defying this world. So all of a sudden he remembered. So he knew Mishnahs by heart. His father made him learn Mishnah, told him to learn Mishnah. So he knew like 2 tractates, I think, by heart. So he was saying these Mishnahs by heart, and he heard in the corner again this moaning. So he didn't know, what it was. Maybe it was a person dying. Suddenly he remembered that he had a box of matches that he was on his way to deliver to somebody. And somebody wanted matches, and he was on his way before this whole thing happened. So he took out the box of matches, lit, and he saw that there was a calf. Not the same calf that this tooth guy, a calf tied up in the corner, was gagged, and his legs were tied. So he was sitting there saying Mishnayos. That's what he's sitting there for a couple of hours. After a couple of hours, the door opened up, and it was the jailer. And the jailer had a totally different look on his face. And he said, "Oh, I'm so sorry. I made a big mistake. Please come out. I didn't mean to hit you. After all," he said, "I didn't break anything. I didn't break your nose. I didn't break any teeth." He said, "I slapped you because I'm a mean person, and I was just in a bad mood. And I'm sorry. I hope you forgive me. I didn't want." What happened was that the story got around, and his uncle, the Rebbe's uncle, stepped in, the father of his brother. I'm sorry, the brother of his father. The Rebbe's, the Rebbe Rayat'z, he was a young boy, right? His father was the Rebbe Rashab, the previous Rebbe, and he had a brother called Rebbe Zalman Aron, who was very, very respected by everybody, by everyone, by the police, by everyone. He was a genius. He was helpful to everyone. He had very good character traits. He was a very powerful person, and he didn't get involved in politics, and he didn't get involved, so no one felt threatened by him at all. but nevertheless, he knew everybody, he knew everything. And he came and he complained. He came to the police station and complained, and the commissioner of the police station went to the head of the jail and said, "What's this?" And the head of the jail let him out. He said, "Well, I'm really afraid. I'm really sorry." They made an investigation. Meanwhile, they took out the tooth man, and he was bandaged. He was bandaged up. His nose had been broken, and they realized they made an investigation, and they saw that this calf that was in the room of the previous Rebbe, the room was a calf that had been stolen. Someone stole this calf. No one knew where it was. It was just stolen. The calf was stolen, and it ends up that this policeman, what he wanted to do was he was going to, the calf that was stolen, so he was going to pin it on the tooth man. He was going to pin it on it. Why? Because the calf was stolen. He was afraid that the policeman himself, he was the one that stole the calf. He stole this calf that was laying there. He was afraid that the owner might recognize the calf, and it might come back to him. So when he saw this tooth man walking with a calf on his shoulders, he figured that's it. He'll take that calf away from the tooth man, and he'll take that calf for himself, and he'll return this calf that was stolen to the owner, and then no one will suspect that anything was stolen, right? And anything was stolen. He'll say that the calf man, that the tooth man, he was the one that stole this calf, right? The calf that was tied up, and he'll get a calf, and that's what he thought. But the whole thing became revealed that in fact the policeman, he was the one that stole the calf, and he wanted to take the calf away from the tooth man, and give back the calf that he stole, and then no one would suspect that anything was stolen. He would say that the tooth man stole the calf, and now he's giving it back. There was only one calf involved. That's what he wanted to do. But in any case, the whole thing became revealed, and the policeman was demoted, and the jailer requested forgiveness, etc. When he came back home, the previous Rebbe was a boy, so his father was beaming with happiness, with pride. He said, "I heard what you did, how you helped another Jew. You risked your life. That person could have killed you, the policeman, if you wanted to. He was an evil guy. And you revealed the truth. That's what we're here for." Story about the bravery, courage, and care of the previous Rebbe, how his desire for justice, even at the expense of his own security. And that's the thing we should learn from. And also we should learn to say Mishnayos by that, which is a good idea. Have a good day with Mashiach now. See you all tomorrow.